In 1995, Casio introduced the GW-6900, a super popular G-Shock with an iconic design that is still loved to this day. And this month, in February of 2020, Casio is commemorating that watch with the release of the GM-6900 series of watches. These feature stainless steel metal bezels, striking a balance in between high fashion and modern streetwear. The GM-6900 comes in 3 fantastic colors. You've got gold, silver, and red, with the red version featuring a translucent band. Of course, all of these G-Shocks have a shock-resistant construction. The inner resin case is reinforced with glass fibers for increased strength, and there are these small protrusions on the outer surface of the inner case, which helps to reduce contact with the metal bezel. And speaking of the bezel, this particular bezel undergoes about 20 forging processes, followed up by cutting and then polishing to a mirror finish to form a tight precision fit over the case. All 3 of these beautiful watches in the GM-6900 lineup have a metal front button, a triple graph dial, and a negative LCD with a bluish-greenish electroluminescent backlight with afterglow. And today we're going to look at the GM-6900B-4. This is the beautiful red version with a shiny metallic dial and a translucent red band. So let's open up this package and take a look at the latest G-Shock. So the first thing you notice when you take this watch out of the box is that it's got some good weight to it. It weighs about 96 grams, and the measurements on this thing are 49.7 millimeters wide, 53.9 millimeters tall, and it's quite thick at 18.6 millimeters. And here's a side profile shot of the watch to show you that thickness. The bands on all of these watches have a quick release mechanism, which is nice. And in this particular version, the band is translucent, which gives it a very unique look and feel. It features 200 meters of water resistance, and the 3230 module also features a stopwatch, a timer, an alarm, and a flash alert that flashes with the alarms and hourly chimes. You can turn on that flash alert by holding down the bottom right button for a couple of seconds. The stopwatch measures 1/1000th of a second, and it's nice to have the current time displayed in the top right, and the timer can measure down to the second. The multi-function alarm on this watch also features a date alarm, a 1-month alarm, and a monthly alarm. So in adjustment mode, you can configure the time and date and also swap between 12 and 24 hours with the central button, which they call the D button. Let's go ahead and press the adjust button. And you can see here that you can adjust the seconds, hours, minutes, year, month, day, and also swap between 12 and 24 hours by pressing the D button. So let's go ahead and check out a 30-second timer just so you can get a feel for how the dial looks. And you can see the triple graph dial at the top cycle through as the seconds are being counted, with the rightmost dial counting out 10-second blocks. Alright, so let's take a closer look at the case and the Caseback. Here's a shot of the Caseback with the 4 screws holding it down. The metal covered case on this watch is absolutely beautiful. It's got a black, almost smoky gray look to it. It's got a substantial feel and it's really nice to hold in the hands. The pushers on the sides are solid and very easy to press. And the metal button on the front doesn't have a click, but it's very solid with no lateral movement at all. And that red mirrored dial is gorgeous and it complements the case very nicely. And if you look closely, you'll notice that the red model is the only one in the lineup which doesn't have any writing on the dial, which gives it a really clean, really nice look. As I said earlier, the quick release mechanism on this band is really a nice touch, and the red translucent material is just really sharp looking and complements the watch very nicely. So here is the GM-6900B next to my old reliable GShock, the GWM-5610. This should give you a good indication of how big this watch is in comparison to some of the more popular G-Shocks. It's definitely quite thicker and has a bigger profile. And here it is next to my current daily driver, the GWB-5600, which is the Bluetooth enabled G-Shock. And before we wrap up this quick review, let's try to get a shot of the electroluminescent backlight. Just press the D button on the front of the watch, and it's got a very strong bluish greenish electroluminescent glow. It's very nice. The afterglow lasts for about 2 seconds maybe, but it's bright and really, really nice looking. So all in all, this is a very handsome watch with good weight. The build quality is excellent. The materials they use feel really, really good in the hands. And no matter which way you look at this watch, it looks great. I'm sure the gold and the silver version are just as good looking in person. Here's a shot of the watch on my wrist. Honestly, it's a little too big for my wrist. I have a 6.75 inch wrist, and watches over 48, 50 millimeters just don't really look that great on me, which is why I tend to go for the more square-based G-Shocks. But this is still a super handsome watch. I'll leave a link down below to the 3230 module so you can check it out, along with some links to eBay where you can purchase this watch. It's actually going to go on sale this Friday, February 14th for I think $220 USD. But that's about it for now. Thanks a lot for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe for more content. I do a lot of Casio reviews on this channel, and it would be great to have you back. Thanks again for joining in, and take care for now.